Hey friends, how are you? Hope you're well and you have had a good week. Sorry there was no video last week. We were away on holiday and we came back on Saturday, and I just felt I didn't really want to sit and I was so tired after the journey back because I split the driving with Dad. We're down in Yorkshire that I thought I don't have the energy to make a video, so I thought, right, I'm not going to do it. So please forgive me. So yeah, I've got kind of a fortnight to catch you up with. So as I say, last week we were away in Yorkshire. It was lovely. We didn't really do very much. We made it more of a relaxing holiday and let's go places and do things. We did one visit, and that was to RHS Harlow Gardens, and that was just really, really nice. It was lovely just to walk around the garden, take pictures of flowers and things like that. So what I might do at the end of this video is put in some pictures of kind of the area around about Yorkshire where we were, and some of the pictures from Harlow, just to let you see sort of some of the area, etc. We visited some coffee shops. We just sort of stayed in the cottage and read or did cross stitch. And it was a nice relaxing week away. So yes, that was good. This week has been very, very quiet. I haven't done very well. Quiet, and I haven't been going places. I am going out today, but I'll tell you about that in a minute. I've sort of stayed in most of this week. I've done some reading, I've done some laundry, I've done some cross stitch, so it's been really, really nice. I would show you my cross stitch, but I can't because the things I'm making are for some of the people I think watch my videos. So what I might do is do a video later on with all the cross stitch things I made for Christmas presents, and then sort of put it out sort of after Christmas so that you get to see what I've been making. So let me know down in the comments if you'd like me to do that. I'm more than happy to do so. But yeah, so as I say, it's been a quiet week, just trying to get myself reorganised and things like that. So yeah, so that's been that. But today, I'm going out today. I'm going out this afternoon with my other half, and the reason I've got a huge smile, not only because I'm going out with him, but we're going to a chocolate baking class. This is my sort of birthday present from my boyfriend. Although my birthday was in June, this was kind of the first date that we were going to be able to do it, and I am really looking forward to it. So is he. I think it's going to be really, really interesting. I am not going to vlog it. I will tell you about it later on, but I am not going to vlog. I just want to go and enjoy the experience, enjoy making chocolate, seeing how it's done and everything. So yeah, so that's the excitement for this afternoon. So I'm really looking forward to it. Excuse me. And hopefully I'm not going to yawn my way through it. So, book-wise, since we last spoke, I've read 7 books, which I think is not bad within a 2-week span, but I did realise in my last video I didn't talk very much about one of the books I was reading. So I did finish Say It Out Loud by Allison Varnes. I loved this book. I gave it 5 out of 5. So, we meet Charlotte, who is our main character, and she and her best friend Maddie are about to head to middle school. And Charlotte doesn't like drawing very much attention to herself because she has a stutter and she's embarrassed by it. She goes to speech language pathologist and or speech therapist, and I think they're both the same thing. And she's embarrassed by this. She doesn't really want to go, but she has to. And her parents, to sort of try and help her, have enrolled her in this musical theatre class. And she's like, guys, come on. But she does it anyway. But going into middle school means that she and Maddie have got to take the bus. And a couple of things happen on the bus that are not very nice, and that pull her and Maddie apart. Their friendship goes. And Charlotte doesn't know how to get Maddie back. But what she does start to do is write letters or wee notes to people and just put them in their locker or slip them into their bag or leave them on a chair or whatever. And they're anonymous because she wants to try and spread kindness throughout the school. And I thought that was beautiful. I thought it was a really, really lovely thing to do. The other thing that happens is that the theatre group are doing The Wizard of Oz as their production for the semester. And they discover that it's going to be the last production that's done because the theatre class is being cut. So Maddie decides that I'm going to write a letter to the governors or whatever and try and get them to stop, to not cut the class. And she encourages her other sort of classmates in the theatre group to do the same. Things happen there as well that somebody thinks they're better than others, and there are repercussions. I don't want to say too much about it because this is just such a really, really good book. It's well written, great characters, the themes within it are just so good. It's like, do you speak up, do you not speak up, what happens if you do or you don't? And it really was a fantastic book. This is the second book I've read of Allison Varnes's, and I will definitely be reading more of hers. So if you're looking for a really good middle grade, I would definitely pick this one up. I then took down to Yorkshire with me A Woman Made of Snow by Elizabeth Gifford. I gave this one 2.5 out of 5. Oh, right. The premise to me sounded really good. Okay, woman who is so in 1949, Caroline Gillian and her new husband Alistair moved back to Kelly Castle, his dilapidated family estate in the middle of nowhere. Stuck caring for their tiny baby and trying to find her way with an opinionated mother-in-law, Caroline feels adrift, alone and unwelcome. But when she is tasked with sorting out the family archives, Caroline discovers a century-old mystery that sparks her back to life. There is one Gillian bride who is completely unknown. No photos exist, no record has been kept, and the only thing that is certain is that she had a legitimate child, Alistair's grandmother. As Caroline uncovers a strange story that stretches as far as the Arctic Circle, her desire to find the truth turns obsessive. And when a body is found in the grounds of the castle, her hunt becomes more than just a case of curiosity. What happened all those years ago? Who was the bride? And whose body is it? So, sounds great book. Sounds just something that would really, really appeal to me. And on some levels it did. I really liked the searching for who the lost bride was. I really liked her story. What I didn't like was the opinionated mother-in-law. She drove me nuts. I thought she was horrible. And when you went back into the backstory of the grandmother, the things that happened to her when she... No, I'm just going to say the things that happened to her were awful. It was absolutely disgusting. And I was like, that is just awful. How can you do that? Okay, in those times, maybe not. It was like down in the 1800s, I think. Hold on. I can't remember. So, 1847. So, yes, things were different. But the way this woman was treated was disgusting. And it just didn't sit well with me. I was just appalled. So I think that's why I really went off this book. So I must admit, I was very disappointed that this wasn't a book that I had hoped it would be. When I was also in Yorkshire, there was like a little mini library in the cottage, and I wasn't feeling that great, and I didn't really want to read something heavy at bedtime, and it just so happened there was an abridged version of Jo the Shelley School by Eleanor M. Brent Dyer. This is one of my favourite books of the whole Shelley School series. I really, really enjoy this book. I think because part of it there's to do with Christmas in Innsbruck, which it just sounded so magical. It was just beautiful. So this is, I say, the second book in the Shelley School series. Jo is if you haven't read the series, Jo is the head of the Shelley School, Madge's sister. And in the first book, they moved to Austria from England to start a school. Now the school is growing and more boarders are coming. They end up with a really young boarder at the age of 6 called the Robin, who is just the most delightful, sweet character you are ever going to meet. She is gorgeous. I love this character so much. So it's still more about the school being developed, friendships being made. Jo has adventures and is just a really, really good boarding school story. So I'm not going to say much more because I think it would spoil it if you decide to go and read, the Shelley School. I would highly recommend you do because it's just such a great series. But be prepared to be in for a very long read because the original series, I think, is 68 books in it. And yes, I have them all. And people have also been writing fill-ins, so I'm collecting the fill-ins as well. So, but it's just so good. And to be set in Austria is just like, oh yes, so fun. I then read on my Kindle an e-arc of To Listen for Love by Wendy Rich Stetson. This is the sort of, I'm going to call it 2A because this is a mini novella for her sort of Amish series. And I really enjoyed it. I'm not going to say much more because I'm going to do a review of both this one and the next one. Because the next one is called Heartsong Hills again by Wendy Rich Stetson. This is the second, this is sort of the main number 2 book in the series. And I really, really enjoyed it. I am going to tell you more about it, as I say, when I do the review. But they were just such good reads. I then read, again on my Kindle, How to Resist the Single Dad by J.C. Harloway. Didn't like this one so much, but again, it's a NetGalley review book. I will be doing a review video of them for you so that you get to hear more about them. And then I've picked up a book that I'd bought when we were down in Galloway way back in June. And it's called A Tangled Yarn by Betty Hechtman. And I really enjoyed this. I gave this 4 out of 5. I did really enjoy this. This kept me turning the pages. So we meet Cassie, and she runs a knitting and crochet retreat in a hotel called Vista Del Mar, and it's the scenic Monterey Peninsula. And at this retreat, the retreat that she's organised is not just a yarn retreat, there's also a writer's retreat, and there's this famous travel writer that has come to it, and he's a bit pretentious, let's be honest. And I think he kind of rubs a couple of people up the wrong way. But also within the retreat group, there are some people that you're like, what are you? There are 2 women in particular, Dee Dee and Rayanne, and I'm like, there's something weird between you two. And then there's also another lady who is like virtually completely covered, like big hat, sunglasses and stuff. And she says she's got a sun allergy, but has she really? Anyway, so during the retreat, both retreats, the travel writer has popped off. And the police obviously come in to investigate, and various people are suspects. But Casey is asked to investigate unofficially by one of the ladies that owns the Vista Del Mar, because she met the travel writer on her travels back from Peru. and there are various things that are going on with the lady that owns the hotel, herself and her twin and her sister. So there's conflict in that area as well. But it was really well written. Really enjoyed the characters. Fun story. A really good cozy. So if you're looking for a cozy, then I would say pick this one up. This is the number. What number is this in this series? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the 5th book in the series. I hadn't read any of the others. I will definitely be going back to read more because I really, really enjoyed them. And if you're a knitter, there are a couple. There's actually a recipe in the back as well, so that's quite nice. Might make that at some point. But there is also a pattern for a knitted item on the back. So yes, that's kind of what I have been reading. So mostly, fairly decent books. Some of them not so much. So I've had kind of a mixed fortnight when it comes to reading, but that's fine. I don't mind. That's you're bound to get some books that maybe don't sit so well with you, but that's good. So what am I reading this weekend? Well, this weekend, Sarah the Bookish Knitter has set this weekend as a choose your own readathon weekend, and she did one in August that I participated in, and I decided I'm going to do the same again this weekend. So I started the brand new Dreams Come True at Glendale Hall by Victoria Walters. This came out yesterday and I got it yesterday. I pre-ordered it. This is the final book in the Glendale Hall series, and I've read 10 chapters so far, and I am absolutely loving it. We meet Lorna. Now, Lorna has always lived in the village of Glendale Hall, and so is her brother Adam. And there's been this house called Dove House that they absolutely have loved since they were kids. And the last time it went on the market, they tried to buy it to set it up as a B&B, but they were beaten to it. But it's come back on the market, and they're going to give it one more shot to see if they can buy it, turn it into a B&B. It is really good. I'm liking it because I know that the house needs work done to it to make it to what they want it to be. It is an arts and crafts, an art deco house, so they want to turn it back into kind of an art deco house. And I'm not joking, I'm down for this. I love stories that deal with having to renovate houses, inns, whatever, especially if there's a Christmas setting to it. So yeah, I am so looking forward to this. So hopefully I'll get a fair chunk of this read this weekend. I also have a book on my Kindle that I would like to read, which is Canter with a Killer. It is a NetGalley book that comes out in October, and I'd really like to get it read this weekend as well. Or as much of it read as I can. So yeah, that's kind of my reading plans for this weekend. What else am I going to do? Well, obviously my chocolate today. A chocolate making class this afternoon. Got rugby. The rugby champion, URC rugby championships come back, so that's brilliant. We managed to. We were home last Saturday in time to see Edinburgh win. Yes. That was good. Glasgow, unfortunately, on Friday night got beaten, but we recorded the game, so we managed to watch it. So Glasgow are playing tonight, so I'll get home hopefully in time to see the second half, so that's absolutely fine. And then tomorrow Edinburgh play, so I'll be watching that. I'll be doing some cross stitch. But yeah, that's it kind of for my weekend. I do plan to kind of vlog the readathon. So you'll probably get my thoughts more on that. At least I think I'll plan to read it. I might just do a quick separate video. That might be better actually. Do a quick separate video of what my thoughts are, the books I've been reading for the readathon. I'll see how I feel. But that's it for this video. Gosh, I've rambled on quite a bit. But I hope you've enjoyed it. Please let me know down in the comments if you've read any of the books that I've mentioned and what you thought of them. What are you going to be reading this weekend, and what are your plans for the weekend? I would love to know. But until my next video, friends, stay safe and happy reading. Bye!